I told my agent, get me to Luka. No excuses.
Malika, sources tell me that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratas have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks.
The NBA is standing on the edge of a full-blown shakeup, and it's way bigger than people realize. Luka Doncic touching down in Los Angeles wasn't just a flashy headline move. It cracked the league wide open and shifted the balance of power overnight. And the real shocker? Giannis Antetokounmpo quietly dropped comments that changed the whole conversation. Yeah, read that again. This is real talk. Behind closed doors, Giannis and his agent are already moving smart, lining things up so he can land in LA next to Luka Doncic.
Luka! Magic, I want magic now. Now this is the time. Come on. I want this. I'll do my best.
This isn't some recycled internet rumor or fan-made fantasy either. Today's breakdown shows the exact path Giannis and his camp are eyeing, step by step. Once you connect the dots, this trade window starts looking completely different. If you think this is just another wild Lakers fan dream, then you're missing the signs. Star trades happen all the time. Players speaking on their future is nothing new. But a two-time MVP and NBA champion, he's seriously considering leaving the only team he's ever known? That hits different, and league executives are paying attention. So let's break down how this jumped from message board chatter to real front office discussion. Luka Doncic getting traded to the Lakers was already one of the craziest moves in years. It didn't just put him in purple and gold, it sped up the league's timeline and forced every contender to rethink their next move immediately. Instead of being an MVP rival stuck on the other side of the country, Luka Doncic is now the centerpiece of the Lakers franchise, and that detail matters more than people think.
He's an incredible player, incredible talent. Arguably, probably one of the most talented players I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's unbelievable what he can do for himself and his team.
In the NBA, timing is everything. When one megastar suddenly becomes available or curious, right after another superstar lands in Los Angeles, especially a city with massive global pull, things start clicking fast. That's when executives, agents, and players start connecting the dots. And here's where it really heats up. Beyond wanting to share the floor with Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo has already been deep in conversations about his future in Milwaukee. ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Giannis and his agent have been meeting directly with the Bucks front office, discussing whether staying long-term still makes sense or if other situations around the league fit him better. No final decision has been made yet, but let's be clear, these talks alone are massive. This is the first time in his entire career that the Greek Freak has openly entertained anything other than being a Buck for life, and that alone sends shockwaves. And don't get it twisted, this didn't start yesterday. Reports going back to around 2020 revealed Giannis had his eye on major markets before committing to Milwaukee. Miami and even the Dallas Mavericks were on his radar before the title run. Now pause for a second and really think about the timing this time around. Back then, Luka Doncic was already running Dallas like it was his city. He wasn't some project or mystery piece. He was the face of the Mavericks, an MVP-level force, and the engine of the entire offense. People were already calling him the next generational superstar. So when Giannis was seriously looking at Dallas, let's be clear, he wasn't staring at a rebuild. He was staring straight at a future that included Luka, and that idea never vanished. It just went quiet for a while. Now, fast forward to today, add in all that history, and suddenly the Lakers are in the picture. It becomes obvious this Luka connection didn't come out of nowhere. Giannis has been circling the idea of teaming up with Luka for years now. Yeah, it feels strange even talking about Giannis being available. He built the Bucks into contenders. He brought them a championship. His loyalty has never really been questioned, but loyalty only stretches so far when the league keeps shifting around you. The Bucks are slipping, the competition is leveling up, and Giannis' contract gives him real flexibility. For the first time ever, Giannis is clearly stopping and asking himself what he truly wants the rest of his career to look like. And this is where things turn spicy. Once you stop treating this like a fake trade machine puzzle and start viewing it as real people making real choices, it clicks.
I want all the Europeans to go to all the big markets, to see something incredible. This is what I want. This is my dream.
Giannis chasing Luka isn't random at all. This has been building for years, and it's been happening right in front of everyone. Giannis has always talked about Luka Doncic differently, and anyone paying attention can hear it. Every time Luka's name comes up, Giannis doesn't sound generic or media trained. He sounds genuinely impressed, sometimes even excited. Over the years, especially during All-Star weekends, you can see it too. The jokes, the smiles, the respect. It never feels forced or fake. It feels like real understanding between two elite minds. Giannis has publicly praised Luka's basketball IQ more than once. He's talked about how Luka sees plays before they even happen, how he controls the pace without needing to be the fastest or strongest guy on the court. And coming from Giannis, that hits harder than hype. This is someone who knows what it takes to carry a franchise on his back every single night. So when Giannis gives Luka props, it's not noise, it's recognition. And this goes way beyond NBA media talk. European outlets have been grouping Giannis and Luka together for years as the faces of European basketball. Not rivals, not enemies, but leaders. Two different styles, two different journeys, yet the same weight when they speak about the league going global. Their names are always mentioned in the same breath, and that matters. He clearly sees himself as part of something bigger. He's even said before that he wants European players to succeed in the biggest markets under the brightest lights. Giannis has been clear about this vision for a long time. He wants European stars to be taken seriously as the true faces of the league, not just elite players who happen to be international. Luka Doncic fits that mindset perfectly. Same pressure, same expectations, and the same understanding that every time you step on the court, you're representing way more than just yourself. And here's the part people seriously sleep on. The interest isn't one-sided at all. Reports say Luka himself has quietly asked around internally about the possibility of the Lakers making a move for Giannis. That alone changes the whole vibe. Now put the pieces together. Luka is already in Los Angeles. Giannis is standing at a career crossroads. What once felt like a distant maybe someday has suddenly turned very real. That's why it's time to re-examine what Giannis said about wanting Luka, the Lakers, and European stars landing in major markets. At first, those comments sounded playful, almost like Giannis was just thinking out loud. But timing flips everything. When he said it, Luka was already in LA. And that's where things get interesting because reactions weren't the same. American media mostly brushed it off as a lighthearted soundbite from a superstar having fun, but there's way more packed into those words than people realized. But in Europe, they didn't laugh it off at all. European outlets took Giannis seriously and framed it as something much bigger. They saw it as Giannis laying out a vision, a statement about European stars stepping onto the NBA's biggest stages with real influence, real visibility, and real legacy power.
Luka Doncic asked the Lakers to try and acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can tell you that the Lakers inquired and Luka Doncic himself inquired, trying to see if the Lakers could work out a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks via Fox News' Lou Canellis.
This wasn't just about Luka Doncic. It was about European players finally taking control in a league that hasn't always given them the spotlight they earned. What once sounded playful now looks like intention lining up perfectly with opportunity. Because at this point, we're way past rumors and fan theories. This is about the possible creation of something that could rattle the entire league. And when I say the entire league, there's serious context behind that. Luka landing in Los Angeles didn't just fill a roster gap. It rewrote the Lakers' identity for years to come. For a long time, LeBron James was the gravitational center. He attracted stars, controlled timelines, and kept the Lakers at the center of the basketball universe. But that era is clearly winding down and the league knows it. So Luka didn't just put on a Lakers jersey, he stepped straight into that power vacuum. Everything now revolves around him. Overnight, the Lakers went from a team in transition to one of the most fascinating teams in the NBA. And here's why that matters for Giannis. Luka is young, really young, for a superstar with that level of control, skill, and presence. He's also insanely skilled and built to adapt in any situation. Luka Doncic doesn't force teammates to bend to his will. He bends the game itself. He can adjust on the fly, read anyone's strengths, and make it all click. And that's massive for Giannis because Giannis isn't trying to babysit or drag a roster uphill by himself anymore. He wants a running mate who actually complements his game, and Luka checks every box. Let's keep it real. The Lakers didn't just land a star, they locked in a whole decade. Most franchises would do anything to secure a young, generational talent like Luka for years, with the resources to build properly around him. For Giannis, that's a flashing green light. This is a place where he could land and still build something wild with a teammate he genuinely respects. And Luka's pull is completely different from LeBron's. LeBron attracted stars through power, legacy, and narrative. Luka attracts stars through fit, chemistry, and pure basketball logic. He's the kind of player that makes someone like Giannis think, yeah, this works. I can thrive here. That's the real difference. This isn't a roster built around one ego. It's a team being built around how the game actually flows on the court. So yeah, the post-LeBron Lakers could have been uncertain and messy, but Luka stepping in flipped everything instantly. He turned the Lakers into a real destination for someone like Giannis, someone chasing more than just a paycheck or another ring. And if you're paying close attention, this shift is already happening. The Lakers aren't just rebuilding anymore, they're suddenly the most dangerous and attractive landing spot in the league. And it all circles back to Luka Doncic being in Los Angeles. His presence doesn't just elevate the Lakers, it quietly makes Milwaukee feel smaller by comparison. Let's be real for a second. Giannis has built an incredible resume in Milwaukee. A championship, MVPs, legacy moments. You can't erase that. But even at his absolute peak, the Bucks keep running into the same walls. The playoff story tells it all.
You put him in Luka. Within 2 to 3 years, you're winning the championship. He's averaged 30 points a game, 11 rebounds, 6 assists for the last 5 years.
In 2021, they finally broke through and won it all. Legendary run, no doubt. But in 2022, they were sent home in the second round by Boston, even with Giannis putting up monster numbers. 34.5 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per game in that series. He did everything. Then 2023 rolls around, and once again the Celtics show up as Milwaukee's biggest roadblock. This time it wasn't close. It ended in a sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a tough pill to swallow. Teams have adjusted. Giannis is still dominant, but even he can feel the limits closing in. Winning once was historic, but it didn't unlock the repeatable dominance he's still chasing. And let's keep it honest. The supporting cast isn't what it used to be. That 2021 title team had reliable pressure relief like Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Now, the Bucks are piecing together lineups that hustle hard, but don't take enough weight off Giannis's shoulders when it matters most. Miles Turner is a solid big. He can protect the rim and stretch the floor. Kyle Kuzma can get buckets when needed, but after that, the drop-off is real. Guys like Cole Anthony and Gary Trent Jr. are fine role players, but let's not gas it up. They're complementary pieces, not championship anchors year after year. Now throw the salary cap mess into the picture, and things get even tighter. The Bucks are deep into the luxury tax, boxed in from every angle. That means reshaping the roster isn't simple. It's painful. They can't just go grab another all-star without shipping out major contracts or valuable picks. Between Turner, Kuzma, Portis, and a stack of mid-tier deals, their flexibility is basically gone. And the numbers back all of this up. No emotion needed. Last season, with Giannis on the floor, the Bucks posted a plus 3.1 net rating. That means they outscored teams by about 3 points per 100 possessions when he played. But when he sat, that number dropped to around minus 0.3. That swing tells the whole story. This season makes it even louder. With Giannis on the court, Milwaukee sits near a plus 4.5 net rating. The moment he steps off, they slide into the red at roughly minus 1.2. In plain terms, it's simple. When Giannis plays, Milwaukee has a real shot. When he doesn't, things fall apart fast. And that reality is getting harder to ignore. Whether it's offense, defense, or just keeping games competitive, the Bucks rely on Giannis for everything. That level of dependency doesn't scream dynasty in the making. It screams one superstar carrying the entire load night after night. And then there's the issue of key guys disappearing at the worst times. Damian Lillard's injury and absence earlier this year ripped the cover off Milwaukee's weaknesses, even with Giannis putting up MVP-level numbers. The support system just isn't built like a true contender. Milwaukee doesn't have enough elite defenders or consistent top-tier scorers around Giannis, the kind you usually see on championship teams. Opponents know exactly what's coming. They pack the paint, clog the mid-range, and swarm the perimeter. Without another reliable creator or knockdown shooter, the offense starts feeling predictable fast, and predictable teams don't survive deep playoff runs. When you stack all of this together, a tough truth shows up. Milwaukee did its job. It helped Giannis win a championship, but it doesn't look like the environment best suited for multiple titles or the kind of dynamic partnership Giannis might be craving with someone like Luka Dončić. That's why the Lakers, with Luka already locked in and the chance to build something truly generational, look so tempting right now. But here's the real question. What would it actually look like if these two shared the court? Talking trades is one thing, but imagining Giannis and Luka running a team together? That's a whole different level. Giannis is already a straight-up downhill monster. He attacks the rim like a freight train, crashes the glass, switches onto wings, protects the paint, and impacts the game on both ends nonstop. But even someone that dominant can hit walls in the half court. Defenses know what's coming, so they load the paint, funnel him into help defenders, and dare him to settle for tough mid-range looks that just aren't efficient. That's exactly where Luka Doncic changes everything.
The Austin Reeves of it all is very interesting. If I'm Milwaukee, I demand him. I wouldn't do the trade without him. Do you want to do that? Right? I mean, that's a tough one, but that's who they would ask for, because you're not going to get Luka, so you got to get the next best guy, and that's Austin.
Luka is one of the best half-court creators in the entire league. He reads defenses before they're even set, manipulates help defenders, and delivers the ball to Giannis in perfect spots. When Giannis is rolling, cutting, or slipping to the rim, Luka's vision turns simple pick and rolls into absolute nightmares for defenses. Giannis is already terrifying in those actions because of his size, speed, length, and finishing ability. But let's be honest, Milwaukee has never had a point guard who could fully unlock that potential. Luka can. In clutch moments, Giannis can attack downhill, while Luka spaces the floor, drags defenders out, or carves open driving lanes. That combo is lethal, and it's not just speculation. Gilbert Arenas even backed this idea on his podcast. He straight up said that within a couple of years, Giannis and Luka could absolutely build a championship-winning team together. Why does this combo make so much sense? Because right now, Giannis is doing everything in Milwaukee. He's carrying the scoring load and anchoring the defense at the same time. That's exhausting, even for a force like him. Luka Doncic's elite scoring and playmaking would instantly lift a massive weight off Giannis' shoulders. For context, Giannis is putting up around 31 points and nearly 12 rebounds per game. Insane numbers. But when defenses collapse and build a wall, his efficiency takes a hit. Luka fixes that immediately. He stretches the floor, forces defenders to choose, and suddenly Giannis has clean lanes instead of traffic jams. Defensively, this setup actually works perfectly. Luka doesn't need to be a lockdown defender. Giannis handles rim protection, switches onto wings, and dominates in transition. Luka's job is simple: be a threat and pull defenders away from the paint. And modern NBA rules make this duo even scarier. The game is faster, spacing matters more, and fouls are called tighter than ever. Luka thrives controlling the floor and manipulating defenses. Giannis thrives attacking downhill with space. Put them together and you get what analysts call unfair math. The perfect blend of spacing, vision, and raw power that defenses can't solve. This isn't just some wild fantasy either. There's a real blueprint for this kind of pairing. NBA history is full of superstar duos that flip the league when timing and roles aligned. Look at Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Jordan was the scoring engine, but Pippen's versatility on both ends turned the Bulls into a dynasty. Then you've got Shaq and Kobe in Los Angeles. Shaq crushed everything inside. Kobe handled the perimeter, stretched defenses, and closed games. Together, they created spacing nightmares for the entire league. And it wasn't perfect at first. Kobe had to adjust his game, learn patience, and figure out timing next to a dominant big like Shaq. Fast forward to LeBron and Dwayne Wade in Miami. Both were ball dominant. Both could score at will. But to reach peak efficiency, they had to share usage, sacrifice touches, and trust each other. That super team rewrote how the league viewed player-led moves in clutch moments, proving stars could actually make it work without a franchise forcing it. Go even further back. Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. One ran the show, the other finished it. Different ages, different styles, perfectly defined roles. That duo worked because everyone knew their job, and they stayed together long enough for it to matter. That's exactly why Giannis and Luka Doncic isn't some random idea. Luka solves the half-court problems Giannis has battled for years. Giannis covers massive defensive ground so Luka doesn't have to. One bends defenses with playmaking and shot creation, the other breaks them with size, speed, and relentless rim pressure. And there's a bigger layer here. Giannis and Luka wouldn't just be another star pairing, they'd be the most powerful European duo the league has ever seen. This would be two guys who came up outside the traditional American pipeline, now potentially running the league together at the highest level. And when you zoom out even further, it becomes clear the Lakers have been quietly preparing for this exact moment. After moving on from LeBron, the Lakers didn't panic. They didn't force a fake short window or rush into desperation moves. They waited. Luka Doncic landing in Los Angeles wasn't just a star trade, it was the foundation. He's young, global, and already one of the most influential offensive players in basketball. Now add Giannis to that picture and everything snaps into focus. Luka becomes the system. Giannis becomes the accelerator. That's how real dynasties form. Not with overnight splashes, but with timing lining up perfectly.
Me having my draft pick doesn't work. I don't control the next 3. I'm trading you Giannis Antetokounmpo. Your team's going to be awesome. Giving me your draft picks for the next couple of years aren't doing me any good. Do you have third team picks that might be valuable?
Luka's arrival is what cracked the window open for Giannis in the first place. That's why analysts keep saying the Lakers are quietly positioned. You're seeing mock trade packages everywhere now, not because fans are bored, but because the math actually exists. Salary rules matter. You can't just trade Giannis for vibes. Contracts have to match. Picks have to move. And that's where names like Austin Reeves keep popping up in these conversations. Not because the Lakers want to dump him, but because Milwaukee would demand real value back. They'd want an actual player, not just future promises and crossed fingers. Reeves makes sense financially and competitively for Milwaukee, and everyone around the league knows it. And deals like this, they almost never happen clean. Third teams jump in all the time. One contract gets absorbed here, a pick gets rerouted there. That's how impossible trades suddenly turn into reality. Add in timing, public comments, body language, and those quiet signals players give off, and you start seeing how these moves actually come together. This isn't random chaos, it's calculated motion. And when global stars are involved, especially European ones, the attention multiplies fast. That pressure matters whether the league wants to admit it or not. That's exactly why the NBA gets nervous when this conversation pops up. Because Giannis, Luka, and the Lakers wouldn't just be another strong team, they would tilt the entire balance of power. The East loses its most dominant force. The West gets even more stacked. Every front office is forced to react immediately. And beneath all of that, there's a deeper shift happening. Giannis, Luka, Jokic. European stars aren't just participating anymore, they're defining the league itself. A Giannis-Luka pairing wouldn't be random, it would be the loudest symbol yet of where basketball power truly lives right now. So that's the real tension. Does Giannis stay loyal to the place that raised him? Or does he chase the absolute best version of his career? Is this unfair Lakers privilege? Or just smart positioning in a league that never stops evolving? And if this really is where everything's been heading, maybe the most uncomfortable question isn't if it should happen, but whether it was always inevitable. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment with what you think happens next. I'll see you on the next one.